We were having a couple of drinks, and she threw the phone at me.
And that's how your teeth got injured. I believe that this was an accident.
Yes, ma'am. I don't believe that it was an accident.
I don't care what you believe. You were both probably drunk.
Avril Matthews is suing her former friend, Unati Mia, for medical bills after Unati damaged her teeth.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge.
Hello, Kevin.
Case 3057, Matthews versus Mia.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Matthews, how long do you know the defendant?
A few months, Your Honor.
Where did you meet her?
We met at a gathering, like through mutual friends.
And when did you meet her?
I would say probably the beginning of last year.
Give me a month and the year.
Probably like June, maybe,
So
like in the
June
in summer,
is a
like last
question.
year.
I don't know when you met. The beginning of last year
Okay, I
would
would
be
say-
a January, not a June.
Okay.
That would be the middle of
I
last year.
would say I'm
the
just
questions are going to get harder, Miss Matthews. Not easier. They're going to get harder.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, when did you and the defendant meet? Month and year.
May 2022, last year.
And the incident that you reference in your lawsuit against the defendant happened in April of 2023, so approximately a year later.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Between May of 2022 and April of 2023, about how often did you and the defendant see each other?
I would say probably every other couple of months or every other weekend. Like it would be a regular
Just a
thing.
second. I want to tell you how silly you sound, because Whitney is going to read back what you just said. How often did you see each other?
On a regular
And just a
basis.
second.
Sorry.
I'm going to tell you what you just said.
I would say probably every other couple of months or every other weekend, like it would be a regular.
Every other couple of months would mean that maybe you saw her 4 times. If you saw her every other weekend, that's a different story. Do you understand? You have to get your story straight before you come here. Do you understand?
Yes.
Story straight. You get it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is what the case is about. So now I got my players. Is your claim that on an evening in April, the two of you went out for dinner, ended up in someone's apartment, I think yours, and the two of you were in the bedroom, sitting on the bed, phone rings, and it was your phone?
My phone.
Your phone. And somehow, according to the complaint, the defendant threw the phone at you and broke your teeth in the front. And that's what you're suing her for.
Yes, that's correct, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
okay. So that you know. You don't know when you met her, and you don't know how often you saw her, but that you remember.
Yes.
So let's start with that evening, and then I have a few questions for you. Let's start with the evening of April what?
April 1st, 2023.
Did you meet her at a restaurant, or did you pick her up, or did she pick you up?
So we actually picked her up, and
We actually picked her. Who's the we?
Me and a friend of mine.
Picked her up.
Yes.
And the three of you went out for dinner?
Yes, that's correct.
Finished dinner at about what time?
After 10, maybe going into 11 o'clock.
And now there are three of you leaving the restaurant at 11 o'clock.
Yes,
Keep
that's
going.
correct. So at the restaurant, we had some dinner and drinks, and we were having a conversation. I think it was like a debate, and we were speaking about something about how, from a woman's perspective and another woman's perspective, how a man would probably react to a certain situation, and we were in a disagreement about something. And then she proceeded to play fight with me, which I thought at the time was
You're
play
talking
fight.
about at dinner?
Yes, at dinner, at the restaurant, when we all three were there and we were having a couple of drinks, and she proceeded to get physical with me. So it was play fighting at
good.
the time that
All
I
right,
thought.
just a second. Play fighting at the restaurant before 11 o'clock. Okay, so now there's play fighting before 11 o'clock, and what do you do when you leave the restaurant?
So we proceeded to go to a nightclub, but during the play fighting, I just want to go into detail that she had bit me.
I don't want to go into detail.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
I want to get to the case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you went to a nightclub. Did the three of you go to a nightclub?
Yes, Your Honor, we did.
For how long?
Close to 2 hours.
So now we're at 1 a.m.
Yes.
Did you have a good time at the nightclub?
Yes, you could say so. Yes.
I'm just
It
curious.
was okay. It was
I'm just curious.
Yes.
Did you dance?
Yes, you could
Who
say.
did you dance with?
We would like dancing with each other, probably, we'd sit down and then we get up.
Not probably.
Excuse me?
Not probably. I wasn't there.
Yes, we would dance with each other and
Okay,
then
good.
we would sit down and then depending on what kind of music would be playing. Yes.
So it's now 1 a.m.
And later on, my witness joined us at the nightclub. So we were then 4 at the nightclub together.
Okay. And when did you leave the nightclub? 1 o'clock?
Yes, I would say like probably around 1.
Well,
or
that's what you said
2.
before.
Yes, I think we were maybe there for a little bit longer because we then went to McDonald's afterwards. And at that time, they were selling breakfast.
What time did you leave?
So I would say much later than that. Now that I'm thinking about it, a little bit later than that.
Good.
Apologies, Your Honor.
Good. About what time?
I would say right when the nightclub was closing, so probably about 3.
So from 11 to 3, you were at a nightclub drinking and dancing. And then how did you get to McDonald's?
We drove.
Who drove?
My friend of mine that's not here currently.
And from McDonald's, where did you go?
We went to my place, Your Honor.
Did the 4 of you remain there?
Yes, Your Honor, the entire night.
Okay. So they were there and your friend was also there during this incident.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
So now you can tell me about the incident.
Okay, so we got to my place, and after coming from McDonald's, we got out of the car, and she had bit me again.
I want you to listen to me.
Okay,
I want you to get to the incident.
okay.
So I want you to get to the period of time when you were injured. Who was there in the room and how it happened? Do you get it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect.
So we got into my place, and we were all sitting. We were in the living room, and we were all waiting for each other so that we could all eat together.
What do you mean, all eat together? From where? From McDonald's?
Yes.
So you had brought McDonald's back
Yes, Your
to
Honor.
your house?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes.
Now
so
move on.
I was in my room, and Unati was with me in the room, and Haji was out in my living room. And Unati got up, and her phone rang, or a beep or a text came through from her, and she got, aggressive and wanted to get my attention to show me what was on her phone. And at that time, she called my name, and I didn't respond to her. And she wanted to get my attention, and she threw the phone at me. And I looked, and I was like, oh, okay, wow. And out of shock, I then got up, and I went to the bathroom. And at that time, Haji had witnessed her because Haji was going to the bathroom. So Haji walked in, and at that time heard Avril, I'm trying to get your attention. And Haji then saw her throw the phone at me.
Don't tell me what she saw.
Okay.
So she got up to go to the bathroom. The defendant's phone rang. Where was the defendant when you say her phone rang?
Or she got a message.
Just
her phone
a second.
didn't ring. Okay, sorry, Your Honor.
Message, a bing, whatever it was. Where was she?
She was in the bedroom with me, Your Honor.
Bedroom where?
So I was laying on the bed, Your Honor.
You were laying on
Yes,
the bed.
I was laying on the bed.
Shh. You were laying on the bed. Mm-hmm. Was she on the bed or was she standing?
At the time, she was sitting, and then she got up.
She was sitting on the bed.
Yes.
Where was her phone?
Her phone was in her hand, I believe.
Just don't say you believe. I wasn't there.
Okay, yes, her phone
I wasn't
was in,
there.
Her phone was in her hand.
Was in her hand.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So she was sitting on the bed. Her phone beeped or rang. It's in her hand. And she got up to a standing position.
Yes.
And she's looking at her phone or she's speaking into her phone?
She was looking at her phone. She wasn't speaking into her phone.
So she's now standing up, looking at her phone and
tried to get my attention.
Just a second. Trying to get your attention is a conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
What did she do?
She called my name, and I didn't respond.
And you didn't?
And I think that's when she threw the phone to get my attention. But it was, I would say that it was I don't know what text message she got.
Just a second.
Okay.
And that's how your teeth got injured.
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. So we have found the story. Now I just have to read this. Well, you see, your complaint, Miss Matthews, says that the phone was not in her hand. It says her phone beeped. She got up from the bed and grabbed her phone. That's what you said in your complaint.
Okay, so Apologies, Your Honor. I think I was just trying to, figure out exactly what happened.
We're not here at some science class, madam. We're in a courtroom. You signed a complaint.
Yes.
I find this whole thing a little bit fishy anyway, and you're just feeding into that with some of your responses to me and some of what's in your complaint, because it all sounds bizarre. So I know I'm missing something. So was the phone, when it beeped, in her hand, or was it in a place where she had to get up and go and get it?
I would say that...
Not I would say. I don't want to know what you would say. I want to know the truth. There aren't different versions of the truth. There's only one version of the truth. So not I would say, think about it. And were you correct when you swore to this complaint that she got up and grabbed the phone? Or were you correct when you testified a moment ago that the phone was in her hand?
I would say that I was correct when I said on the paper that she got up and picked up the phone.
Now I'm going to go back. Where did she pick up the phone from?
I have a dresser in my room.
A what?
I think it was the dresser. I'm not sure,
if you say, listen to me, if you say I don't know how this happened, it all happened so fast, that's okay. But if you keep, I think I have a dresser, and this is a dresser, so I think the phone was on.
I would say that it happened off, I'm just trying to replay the night, but I think that she got up and she took the phone, and that's when she got the text message.
Great. I feel so much more comfortable than when we started. All right, let's get to the bedroom.
All right.
Who was in the bedroom?
It was Avril, and...
Where was she?
She was in the living room.
And can you tell me why you were in the bedroom instead of in the living room?
I can't tell. We don't know. We were in the living room and then we just went to the bedroom. I really can't.
Okay, go.
Yes. So my phone was actually on her dresser. I had put my phone on the dresser when we came in, on her nightstand dresser in front of her bed. I got the text message. I stood up and I went around her bed and I went to get my phone from the dresser. I stood in front of the bed and she was in front of me, obviously on the bed. And I got a text message from a guy that I was talking to at the time. And I wanted her to see. So I was really excited and I was telling her, oh, he texted me, and I was telling her what he was saying. And then she's like, oh, let me see. And then she put her hands out and in an underhand position, I passed her the phone.
So you tossed the phone?
I did.
You tossed the phone at her?
Your Honor.
And is that when it hit her in the mouth? Okay. And then it took us a long time to get there, but clearly this was an accident.
Absolutely.
Accident happens when you're in a car. You don't mean to hit anybody, but you do. Accident happens if you're parking the car. You don't gauge that parallel parking just right. Well, if you're from Brooklyn, you always gauge the parallel parking just right. But it's an accident.
Your Honor.
But when...
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
When you have an accident, you have to pay for the accident because it's not an on purpose, but it's an accident. So I would like to see, dating back to the week of April 1st, any text messages that you have or emails between the two of you discussing the incident of April 1st.
April 1st.
In the week of the 1st, this is the only...
This doesn't say anything.
That's just the only conversation over text that we had.
Well, this doesn't say anything about the incident that happened.
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay, let me see your evidence, Ms. Matthews, about the incident itself. You show me all those pages?
No, it's not any conversation regarding the night of the incident. It's all the conversations that we had regarding after I went to the ER and the bill.
I would like to take a look at those. Okay. Well, it's clear, Ms. Mia, that prior to all of these emails, you and the plaintiff had a discussion where it was clear between the two of you that this accident was your fault, because all of these emails discuss with the plaintiff payment. And to summarize what I've just read, she went to the emergency room, she went to a dentist, she got estimates, she was in discomfort. She told you what the proposal was. You said to her, you can get someplace cheaper. She said, I'm not going to do that. You said to her, well, if you're not going to do that, meet me halfway. You know, I make the minimum wage. I can't afford all of these bills, which suggests to me that you understood your culpability, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I'm not suggesting, nor was there any indication to me that this was a purposeful assault. Was it? It was a stupid accident. You were both probably drunk. I'd like to see all of your medical bills, please, starting with the ER. There's a lot of bills for me to go through.
Yes.
Did you have the work done yet?
I had some work done, and for future, I still have to have one more procedure done on me, Your Honor.
I'd like to take a look at the report from the dentist requiring another procedure.
Okay.
Maybe. But let's see what you had done so far.
Okay, Your Honor. Let me just put it in order.
And you have proof of payment of those bills?
No, I haven't paid any of it, Your Honor.
None of it? You mean the dentist worked for nothing?
I have the proof for the consultations that I've paid. So I paid for the consultation.
I want to see proof of payment of how much you paid. So your initial visit at the ER was $985.
Yes.
And it is for a tooth. That's what it says. A tooth.
So they had placed...
Okay. Just telling you what it says. Okay. So a lot of this work has yet to be done.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And in order to have it done, they want to be paid.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
But the 4,600...
I didn't ask you a question. You understand, Miss Mia, that I believe that this was an accident.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't believe that it was an accident.
I don't care what you believe, and I didn't pose a question to you. You understand that I believe that this was an accident.
Yes, ma'am.
It was an accident, however, that you caused. And when you cause an accident and someone is injured, you have to pay for it. And she has to have work done. She's a young woman, and she shouldn't have to have this kind of problem, because this kind of problem will only be magnified over her years. You have to take care of it. It's well over $10,000. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $10,000. Thank you. We're finished.
Yeah.
This court is adjourned.
She was really big on my character, saying that I assaulted her, and she knows very well that it was an accident.
I don't know, was it the alcohol or if she was jealous? I don't know what it was.
I really do think that there's something seriously wrong with her.
My teeth were displaced out of my mouth and got pushed totally back.
So I did see the damage. I don't think it was as bad as she says it was, but
I'm very grateful for how she went about things, and I feel like the way that it needed to go, it needed to go.
I never want to see her again.
You know, this reminded me of one of my dad's favorite pearls of wisdom from childhood. In my teens, I got into a little accident with the car, and I came home and I said, Dad, I got into this little accident and I don't know what to do, and I'm going to have to, we have to pay for it with the pronoun usage. And he said, whoa. Is it more my fault than it was your fault? Because I was home in my pajamas watching Gold Rush. So would you say that it's more your fault to handle or mine? And, when he said that to me, it really makes a lot of sense. That's not what you want to hear as a 17-year-old who just got into a little bit of a car accident. But you have to take the approach as the defendant, as she did here, which is, I know it was an accident. It wasn't on purpose. I know I have to pay for it. And that's why they're called accidents. Like you said, they're not on purpose. But is it any more the plaintiff's fault than it was the defendant's for getting hit in the mouth? I don't think so.
I think the plaintiff was under the impression that unless she could establish that it was a purposeful assault, that the defendant wasn't responsible.
No, yeah, I felt that as well.
I think that's what she thought, but she was wrong.
Yeah.
But she'll get her teeth fixed anyway.
And I think that was
and
the
your
right
father
call.
was right. It's more your fault than it was his fault.
True.
Funny enough, when the both parties were giving their comments, there was something the plaintiff said. She don't know if she was jealous or is the alcohol or all of these things. I actually don't see reason why the defendant should be jealous of the plaintiff. I don't see that reason. And it doesn't make any sense to me. I love the way Judge Judy said it. She said she believed it was an accident. And for the defendant to keep rooting for the fact that it wasn't an accident doesn't make any sense. But accident happens, and if it was your fault, you have to pay for it. Like she gladly said, Judge Judy said. But there is also something that her granddaughter said about how that she had an accident a time ago, and she came back and told the father and said, we have to pay for it. And the father said, no, is it more of my fault or your fault? Because you had the accident, I was at home. And it was just hilarious, and the response that Judge Judy gave her. But then let's go back to the entire case. The entire case was for a medical bill for the plaintiff. They were in a bar. According to them, they met through a mutual friend, and they became friends, and they went to a bar. But from the beginning, you see how that the answers of the plaintiff are not consistent. Possibly she couldn't remember the story, or she was trying to make the story look like she was the right person, like there was no wrong in her part at all. And they were, at the end of the day, they went to a restaurant, ended up at a bar at 1 a.m. and then left for the plaintiff's house. So the whole issue, or what happened, was in the plaintiff's house. They were debating, and they got into a play fight. I don't know what a play fight means, but there is something like that. And it was a debate on how men will react to some certain situations. I don't know how they got into a play fight, but that was what the defendant said, or the plaintiff said, sorry. They went to a nightclub, I said that, around 1 a.m. The plaintiff said the defendant bit her twice, once in the restaurant and once in her house. And the defendant got a message and was trying to get the plaintiff's attention. And that was how she ended up throwing the phone. But I tend to believe the defendant's story more than the plaintiff's story. How that she said the phone was on the plaintiff's dresser, and she got a message from a guy that she'd been talking to for a while, and she went to pick up the phone, and the plaintiff now was glad and so excited, asking her to see the message, and that was how she ended up tossing the phone to her, and then it hit her teeth, and the teeth got damaged to the extent that she had to see a dentist and fix the teeth. Then there was a question of now Judge Judy was asking the defendant if the plaintiff if the phone was in the defendant's hand or on the dresser, as she has said earlier. But it was the defendant that gave an accurate narration of what actually happened. She wanted to see the text, which I've explained. The defendant acknowledged that it was an accident, as Judge Judy has earlier said. Even though the plaintiff don't agree it's an accident, she openly said it, that she don't agree it's an accident. Then the plaintiff don't believe it. I've already explained that she don't believe it's an accident. But I love what Judge Judy said to the defendant. It was an accident, and it happened to you. From what or everything that they both said, it was her fault. So she needs to pay for the accident that had happened. And according to the hospital bills that the plaintiff provided, they needed at least $10,000, and that was what she was awarded. She was awarded $10,000 for her dental work. So I believe Judge Judy was right, but I felt she should have been more lenient with the plaintiff, with the defendants, because she was truthful, and she had already spoken to the plaintiff that she was going to pay her, but she should also understand with her situation that she was only earning minimum wage. So I agree with the judgment, but I expected that Judge Judy wouldn't just award her $10,000. Possibly they would have met halfway, but she have her reasons for awarding such amount of money. So I believe that you like this video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and support me for what I'm doing. Thank you.